Hey guys, it's Greg. In this video I would like to show you Dungeon Saga Origins, a very classical approach to dungeon crawler games. So in this demo that we have, this prototype, we have a system that one of the players must be an overlord and the rest of the players or one other player is playing as a heroes. This is what we got in the prototype, but authors are going to implement also full co-op. And this is a very important information. But in this video, I want to show you only the mechanics that are implemented in this version, Heroes versus Overlord. So this video will focus on a little bit of the components. I will tell you more about mechanics and like general overview how the game works and flows. So if you are interested in dungeon crawlers and you like to play as an Overlord, this game can be for you, especially that it gives a little bit of a decent second. I think it's much more simpler, more streamlined than Descent, but in the end, it's also the similar type of the game. So, Dungeon Saga Origins, if you're interested in this, just check out this video. So as you can see, I already have a game set on the table. Dungeon Saga Origins, it's a rather classical approach to the dungeon crawler. In here, I mean, in this demo that we got, one player must control heroes or 4 players, because it doesn't mean that one player has to control all of them. In general, you get 4 heroes that you can control, and you can split it to depending on how many players is playing the game. And the other side is controlled by there's an Overlord. One player must control monsters. This is the setup. This is the mechanics that we got in this demo. What we know that. There is also the Mantic is going to introduce also the full co-op, so no Overlord gonna be needed. But in this film, I want to show you the version with Overlord. So what do you have here? What do we have here? We have first of all minis boards. In this demo, we got 3 these square boards, double-sided with different locations and corridors, and a few monsters and 4 heroes. Now let me show you the board of, not board, a sheet of a hero. So what we can find on this sheet. So first of all, health. When your health drops to 0 to this skull, you can revive your hero spending this revive token, and after you spend this token, it's flipped to the other side, and this token goes to the Overlord, and this token transforms into interruption token, so Overlord gets another chance to interrupt between players. But in a short moment, I will explain you more what does it mean. What else we have here? So some special abilities, feats, and those 4 stats on the left hand side. So movement 6. So basically, you can move by 6 spaces. You can move basically in any way. Diagonally, orthogonally, it doesn't matter. You can skip your other heroes. You cannot move by obviously enemies. And now here we have number of dice that you are going to roll when you're performing melee attack, and how many dice you need to roll when you're performing ranged attack, and your armor, the basic armor, that is 2. And those are all information that you can find on characters. So this is a ranger that we got. This one is some kind of dwarven fighter. Next one is human wizard. Wizard gets special setup because in this again in this demo we got 3 schools of magic, and you need to choose 2 of them, taking 3 spells from each of the schools. So for example, here we have pyromancy with the burn, flame bolt and sea of flames spells. Here we have healing spring, crushing depths, and tsunami. What is unique in the terms of the spells, that each spell can be cast only once per game. So 6 of the spells, and you can use them only once, and they need to go back to the box. Also, with each hero, you can choose one of the 2 feats. I mean, in this demo, 2 feats. So you're choosing one of these. This is that double-sided card. And again, those are also one time used. And those are also activated by just spending your action during your turn. So this is the basically last element of heroes. So we have spells when you're playing a mage. You have feat. and some stats on your sheet, and of course, obviously, this revive token that can be transferred into interruption token for Overlord. Now, the second thing that we can that we got in, I mean, that's not second. Next thing that we got in this demo, this is the exploration deck. So basically, every time you are in empty room, so without the enemies, you can perform an exploration action, and that allows you to draw a card. Or if there is an hidden passage, so the Overlord needs to say that, okay, you're performing an exploration action, and there is a hidden passage, so the Overlord needs to put the right token on the map. But if there is no extra this hidden passage, you're just basically drawing one card from this deck, and a lot of things can happen. So a monster can pop up, you can find some gold, monster gold, trap gold, jackpot. So in here we have another coins, potion, basically monsters, gold, and some potions, because you are not going to find items just laying on the floor in the dungeon. You can buy items in the middle of the adventures, so you're just collecting the gold, and when you're in the middle of the adventures, there's a deck of equipment, and you can buy those items, spending right amount of gold for each of the items. Right. So those are the elements of the heroes. Now let's go to the Overlord. So in demo we got two bosses. So we have Undead Dwarf King and we have Zombie Troll Tyrant. So those bosses got their own sheets where you can track their health and to go in the stats. So this is exactly the same as the heroes. But the typical minions, like just the monsters that's gonna appear a lot on the map, those got only those small cards. And in here you also get those basic stats, how many health points they have. And in this demo we only got like undead monsters. So we have armored zombie, we have zombie troll, skeleton archer, dwarven revenant, zombie ghost, and skeleton warrior. So only undead. And what is the difference when it comes to killing a hero or killing a monster? Because every time when you are as a Overlord, you are attacking a hero, you can only deal 1 damage. It doesn't matter how many times you hit, you are performing only 1 damage. But when the heroes are attacking your monsters, they only have 1 chance to kill the monster. So basically, if the health value of the monster is 2, they need to perform 2 hits, not missed hits, to kill the monster. If they perform only 1, the monster survives and nothing gonna happen. So you have only 1 chance to deal damage. If the attack is failure, nothing happens and you need to perform another attack to try and kill monster. So this is this small difference between minions and heroes. And when it comes to the bosses, as you can see, they got health tracks. So bosses are working exactly as the heroes. So depending how many hits you performed, that many health points you are going to take from bosses. So this is slightly small difference between minions and those bosses and heroes. Next thing that I would like to show you is miniatures. So in here we got four heroes. I must say those are printed on, I think, on a 3D printer. So you must keep this in mind. This is not final product, but in the end they are still looking very good. So here we have this human mage. Yeah, the next one is like some kind of barbarian, I guess. So here we have the guy. The next one is here is this elf ranger, elf archer, something like this. And final miniature is, I don't know where. Here? No. Where is it? And here is your dwarven fighter. So those are four heroes that we got in this demo, and now some enemies. So here we have those dwarven revenants. We are also undead, We have also skeleton archers, so something like this. I mean, those minis are very nice when we also take into account that they are printed on a 3D printer, so the ideas are very nice. Check out this guy. Here we have zombie, and also we have those big miniatures. Those are zombie trolls. One of them is also a boss. I think this one is treated as a boss. So as you can see, they're detailed. They look very nice. We have those weird elements, but this is just because of this 3D printer or something like this. It's not gonna look like this in the final version of the product. And also we have like typical skeleton warriors. We have 2 ghosts. So here we have ghost, like something like this, and final like zombie in armor. So those are the enemies that we got in this demo. Now they are going to appear on the map, obviously, and attack the heroes. So how the game is split and how it works. So basically the game is split into 2 phases, let's say. The first phase is when heroes are activated, and each hero gets two things to do. They can move and they perform one of the actions. It doesn't matter in what combination you're going to perform those actions. So you can move and perform an action, or you can perform an action and move, or you don't have to move and just perform the action. You cannot split your movements, so you cannot just move a little bit, perform an action, and move the rest of the amount of your movement points. And what actions you can perform here? Fight, shoot, so basically 2 types of fight. One is range, one is not. Cast a spell, use a feat, so only those heroes and only once per game and per hero. Explore, so as I explained to you, you're just exploring once per room. Revive, so when your hero is dead, you can use your token to revive. And trade, when you're next to each other, you can trade items. And basically those are the all actions that you can perform. When it comes to the Overlord, things are basically the same. So you have here how many movement points the monster has, and how many dice you need to roll when you perform melee attack. And I don't think we don't. Oh yeah, here we have information about ranged and attack, because these are the rangers, but the rest got 0, so they cannot attack in a ranged way. Now, in this rulebook that we got 10, I think 10. Yeah, 10 adventures. I'm not going to show the last one, I'm going to just show the first one, because I don't know if I'm spoiling something. So we got 10 adventures. So we have some information about those monsters that can appear when you discover them. For example, you're using exploration action, so these are going to appear out of nowhere. Here you have some legend with the monsters, the icons and features that you can find on the map. And here we have maps. So this is basically a setup of the map, but also you find here some informations about, for example, traps. So in this scenario we have 1, 2, 3 traps, but as an Overlord you can use only 2 of them. So you must mark on some kind of sheet. I guess in the final version of the game we're gonna get something. You need to just mark which traps are present and which one is not used. The second thing is setup, because you are going to set up the map only. You're going to set up only the rooms that are visible to heroes or are already explored by the heroes. So in this first, at the beginning of the game, obviously the first tile is set, but the only elements that are on the board are on this corridor. So heroes, 2 monsters, door, and a rubble that is blocking other side of this tile. When one of the heroes is opening the door, this one or this, no, not one. This one, you're flipping the token and another 2 monsters are added to the board. Again, opening a door, 1 monster. Opening a door, all these, which is visible on this corridor, is added to the board. So basically you need to gradually discover it step by step to not spoil what is waiting for the heroes. And all of these actions are actions that should Overlord perform. And what now? Let me also explain you how the battle works, because this in here we have quite cool mechanic, and maybe I will start with these arcs. So I will show you here. So as you can see. So as you can see, we have those arcs, this mechanic that when your miniature is standing in here, all those those red squares are front arc of this mini, and those blue squares are back arc of your mini. So in here, your miniature is vulnerable. Here is where that miniature can attack. And the same when you're in the corner, for example, your your back arc is not visible because your back is next to the wall, and here is your arc. And why is that important? Because every time when you are going to fight each other, you need to check where the minis are standing. Because when we have, for example, this monster, and this monster is in front arc of a hero, so we have this setup like, for example, so they are standing in front of each other, and it depends who is attacker. So let's say the undead dwarf is an attacker, so we need to find his card. The card is in here, and now we can check how many dice the dwarf revenant is rolling. So we have 4 dice. We are rolling those 4 typical dice like here, and the hero that is defending also needs to roll dice depending on the value over here, because you always defend yourself with this value of melee attack, let's say. So this hero is going to roll 2 dice. So now let's go and roll 2 dice. So we have 2 and 3. So we have those 2 dice are rolled by a hero, and those 4 dice are rolled by an undead. So let's go like this. Now you need to check how many armor this hero has. So he has only 1 armor. So each roll of a monster that is 1 or below 1 is discarded, because these rolls are like blocked by the armor of the wizard. Unfortunately, I didn't roll any ones, so unfortunately for the human wizard, I didn't roll any ones, so all my dice are counted. Now I need to make pairs with each of the dice, and starting from the highest number. So for example, I have highest number for the dwarf is 6, and for hero is 3. So this is my first pair, and second pair would be 2 and 4. And now, and those 2 extra dice, they didn't get any pair, so those are hits, like unprotected hits, let's say. Now we need to compare the numbers. So if the number of the attacker is higher than the number of defender, this is also a hit. So basically I've got 4 hits, because the rolls of the human mage was really bad. I got 4 hits, but as I explained to you at the beginning, you cannot you cannot deal more than 1 damage to the hero. So even if I got 4 hits, I am dealing only 1 damage to Danor, human wizard. Now, if you would change the roles, and the Danor was an attacker, and this zombie dwarf was a defender, and those roles were like blue are roles of a hero, and whites are roles of the monster, we need to check the card again of the Dwarven Revenant, and in here we have information that the Dwarven Revenant has an armor of 3. So each roll of 3 and below must be discarded. So in this situation, I need to discard 3 and 2. Now we are treating those blue rolls as made as a hero. I need to discard them because those 2 are blocked by the armor of the Revenant. And now we need to perform this action, this mechanic, this action of pairing the dice. So in this situation we got 6 and 4, and again 3 and 2. So and the rolls of the hero are higher than rolls of the enemy. So hero got 2 hits. And now we need to check how many health points Dwarven Revenant has. 2. So that was enough to kill Dwarven Revenant. The enemy is dead and we can take it out from the board. And basically that's it. So you are not getting any experience points or gold or whatever what. I mean, not this in this demo. You're just happy to... this gives you the opportunity to explore the room, because you cannot explore room when there are enemies in the same room. And now interruption tokens. So I think the last mechanic I should mention right now. So those interruption tokens, the Overlord starts with 4 of them, and you can use them. You can use them to interrupt between activations of the heroes. So, for example, one of the heroes activated. Let's say this attack of the mage was the first activation, and in the normal rules the second hero could activate right now, but Overlord can spend this interrupt token and perform one action in between of the activation of the heroes. And one action, I mean the Overlord can activate one enemy, so move it and attack, and that's it. So this is the whole interruption, and you start with 4 of them. 4 interruptions. Every time when you kill a hero and hero spends this revive token, you get another interruption token to your pool, so you can perform additional 4 interruptions if you manage to kill at least once all of the heroes. Now, why I mentioned those arcs? Because this is one extra thing that I should have told you during the when I was explaining the battle, because when you're fighting each other, and for example, when you are attacking an enemy that is standing, you're attacking the back of the enemy, so he's standing with the back to your hero. For example, this enemy that is defending rolls 1 less die, because this is the penalty. You need to roll 1 less die, but the minimum is at least 2 dice. So even if for example, let's just find the card of this. Yeah, Skeleton Warrior should roll 2 dice to defend. And in this situation, when hero is attacking this Skeleton Warrior, who is standing with the back to the hero, the Skeleton Warrior would get -1 dice penalty to roll, but you need to roll at least 2 dice. So in the end, you're gonna roll 2 dice. But I think that penalty would be much more cruel when it comes to Dwarf Revenant, because the Revenant rolls with 4 dice, and if you are attacking back of the Dwarf Revenant, the Revenant rolls only 3 dice instead of 4. And the same goes with the heroes. The another penalty is being outnumbered. So, for example, when we have again 1 hero, and this hero is attacked by 2 monsters or more, that hero is outnumbered because there's more enemies in front of him, and again 1 dice is removed from the pool, but at least 2 of the dice must be rolled. And basically this is it. I don't want to go into more details, because you also have some things like traps that can be triggered. You have those exploration deck where you can find those monsters that you are going to spawn, or finding chests. And in chests you can also find some extra things, but opening a chest comes with with a danger, because you need to draw 2 exploration cards instead of 1. So you can find a gold, but in the end, the same time, you are going to, for example, trigger a trap. Yes. And basically that's it. When you finish the adventure, you can buy those items from equipment deck. So this is it. The Dungeon Saga Origins. It's, I think, very streamlined game. It can be very fun, I think. I think this can also be a gateway game, because even if you're playing with this Overlord, those rules are very intuitive and it's hard to mix anything. So I think it's even more streamlined, even more easy than, for example, Descent journeys into the dark or something like this. Now over there you have those mechanics are way more complex than in Dungeon Saga Origins, or at least in this demo that we got. Maybe final product will be much more complex. So that's it. Dungeon Saga Origins is going to be on crowdfunding platform. So if you're looking for this dungeon crawler but very streamlined, very easy, but in the same time with very cool minis. It's not you're not going to find the standees in here. We get very cool minis. If you want to find something like smaller, streamlined, easier, and this game can be for you. So thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.